he never came. The message on her phone stayed silent, while the snow kept falling, soft and cruel at the same time. Her fingers were numb, not just from the cold, but from the slow truth sinking into her chest. She stood outside the cafe, dressed thin beneath her coat, hope still foolishly breathing. Then she heard it. A broken sound. Not loud, not dramatic, just raw. And when she turned, she saw a man kneeling in the snow, his shoulders shaking, his breath tearing out of him like something inside had finally snapped. Everyone else walked past. Her name was Clara Hale, and she was used to being unseen. She was 34, a single mother of a 6-year-old boy who still believed his mom could fix anything. Tonight was supposed to be different. Tonight was supposed to remind her she was still a woman, not just a schedule, not just tired hands and half-slept nights. The cafe window glowed warm behind her, full of laughter she did not belong to. The man who promised to meet her never showed. No message. No call. Just absence. Clara swallowed the hurt the way she always did, quietly, with practice. She was about to leave when she noticed the man in the snow again. His coat was expensive, the kind you see in magazines. His shoes were ruined by slush, like he did not care anymore. His face was buried in his hands. No one stopped. No one asked. A few glanced, then looked away faster, like pain was contagious. Clara hesitated. Her life had taught her that stopping for strangers often came at a cost. Time, energy, warmth, things she barely had left. But something about him felt different. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just deeply broken. The kind of broken she recognized. She stepped closer. He did not look up when she spoke. Her voice was gentle, almost afraid of itself. She asked if he was okay. The words felt small in the cold air. He laughed, but it was empty. He said nothing is okay. Not really. She offered him her scarf. It was old, soft from years of washing. It still smelled like her son's shampoo in winter mornings. He stared at it like it was something holy. Took it. His hands were shaking. Clara did not know that the man crying in the snow was Daniel Rothwell. She did not know his name carried weight in boardrooms across the world. She did not know people watched markets move when he spoke. She only saw a man who looked like he had lost something that could never be replaced. Daniel had lost his wife 3 months earlier. Cancer does not care about money. It does not slow down for power. He had spent billions building companies and could not buy one more year with her. Tonight was the anniversary of the night they met. He had come to the cafe alone, hoping memory might hurt less if shared with the place it began. When he arrived, the chair across from him felt too loud in its emptiness. So he left, and the grief followed him into the snow. Clara listened as he spoke. She did not interrupt. She did not try to fix him. She stood there, cold creeping into her bones, and let silence do the work. She knew silence. She had lived inside it for years, she told him quietly, that some pain does not get smaller. You just learn how to carry it without dropping everything else. The words surprised her as much as him. They came from somewhere deep. Daniel looked at her then. Really looked. He saw the tired strength in her eyes. The kind that does not ask for praise. The kind that survives because it must. They talked for a few minutes. About nothing important. About snow. About how the city looks softer at night. Then Clara checked her phone again, even though she knew it would not change. It was late. Her babysitter would need to go home soon. She apologized for leaving. Daniel stood, unsteady, and handed back the scarf. She told him to keep it. He hesitated, then nodded, like accepting a promise, as she walked away. He asked her name. Clara did not know that moment would change everything. Her backstory was not dramatic. No headlines. No viral moments. She grew up in a small town where winters were long and expectations were low. She married young, loved deeply, lost fast. A car accident on a wet road took her husband before their son could remember his face. Grief became her shadow. She worked nights as a nurse, days as a mother, slept in pieces. The smell of antiseptic still clung to her hands even on her days off. She learned how to smile when people stopped asking how she was doing. She learned how to be strong without witnesses. Tonight was the first date she agreed to in 4 years, and it failed. The next morning, Clara woke before dawn. Her son was sprawled across his bed, one sock missing, breathing slow and safe. She watched him for a moment longer than usual, the way you do when the world feels uncertain. Then she made breakfast. Toast, eggs, routine, safety, at work. She moved through the hospital halls like a quiet current. Patients trusted her because she listened. Doctors relied on her because she never panicked. No one knew how heavy her heart felt from something as small as being stood up. 3 days later, she was called into her supervisor's office. Budget cuts. Staffing changes. Her hours were being reduced. Not enough to fire her. Just enough to make everything harder. She nodded. Thanked them. Walked out with dignity intact and fear burning under her ribs. That night, snow fell again, her phone rang. Unknown number. Daniel's voice was different now, steady, careful. He asked if she would meet him. No pressure. Just coffee. He said he owed her more than a scarf. Clara almost said no. Habit told her not to hope. But something inside her shifted. Just enough, they met at the same cafe. This time, he was early. This time, he stood when she arrived. He listened more than he spoke. When she mentioned her son, his eyes softened. When she spoke about nursing, he did not interrupt. He did not try to impress her. Weeks passed, slowly, gently. What Clara did not see was the quiet storm Daniel was causing behind the scenes. He asked his assistant to find her hospital. He learned about the staffing cuts, the outdated equipment, the nurses stretched too thin. He never told Clara. He believed dignity mattered. Help should not feel like charity. One morning, the hospital received an anonymous donation large enough to change everything. New machines, more staff, better hours, no press. No name. Clara felt the difference before she understood it. When she found out the truth months later, she cried, not because of the money, but because someone had seen her struggle and respected it. There were moments of doubt. Fear does not disappear just because kindness appears. She wondered if their worlds were too far apart. If love could survive such difference. Daniel wondered if he deserved happiness after loss. They moved forward anyway. The tension came quietly, the way real life does. A parent-teacher meeting Clara almost missed. A business trip Daniel canceled without telling her. Small choices that said more than words. One night, Clara told him something she had never said out loud. Strength is not loud. Strength is getting up when no one is clapping. Daniel answered with words that stayed with her forever. Some people save lives in hospitals. Some save souls in the snow. The power shift came without drama. At a charity event Daniel invited her to, Clara felt out of place. Dresses shimmered. Laughter floated. She stayed near the wall. Then Daniel took the stage. He spoke about success. About failure. About the night he almost disappeared into grief, till a woman with tired eyes and a brave heart stopped and asked if he was okay. He did not say her name. He did not point. But every eye turned to her anyway. The room stood. Not because they were told to, but because respect rose like instinct. Clara did not bow. She did not cry. She stood still, letting the moment pass through her like warmth. In the end, the cafe remained just a cafe. The snow kept falling every winter. Life stayed imperfect, but something fundamental had changed. 2 broken timelines crossed and did not shatter. They held. The story people never saw was the most important one. A single mom who thought she was forgotten. A billionaire who learned money cannot warm a frozen heart. Both saved by a moment of human courage, and the quiet truth lingered. You never know who you are walking past. You never know who needs you to stop. And sometimes, everything changes because someone did. If this story moved you, share where you are watching from. Tell us what moment stayed with you. And subscribe for more stories about quiet strength and unseen heroes.